Still no answer on liquor license questions, and Indian Pavilion can open. These stories and more from this morning's Licensing Authority hearing on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Monday, January 14th, 2013. I'm Sarah Colvin. The Barnstable Licensing Authority met this morning here at Town Hall for a little over an hour and a half. A number of different issues came before the board, including some return issues that have yet to be resolved. The first, the Barnstable Market continues its quest for a full liquor license, but it's still unknown if the town has one to give away. Attorney David Lawler, representing the market, went before the Licensing Authority this morning to hear from the board. Board member Richard Scally says there's been no word yet from the State Alcohol Beverage Control Commission.
Chairman, I have attempted again. I've talked to Mr. Lawler about this with regards to contacting the ABCC, and there seems to be some delay in getting this decision to us. They have not gotten back to me again. The initial discussion suggested there were 2 licenses. Now they're telling me that in our last discussion more than a month ago that our population has decreased and therefore there may be no licenses. So I'm kind of at a loss. I've done the best I can to get an answer from them, and they seem to have not been able to get back to me on this. So I would either recommend that you continue it again or make a decision at some point in the future and send it up there to see what they do with it. I guess I'm not quite sure what more I can do to force them to get back to us on the issue.
After hearing that update, Attorney Lawler gave his thoughts.
Yeah, I want to thank Mr. Scally. He's been working hard trying to deal with Boston, and I think, as I don't know if I said to him, but it's hard to clap with one hand. My clients, because I knew there wasn't a license here, they're not here, just myself, so obviously we can't do anything today. But my initial instinct, and I reserve the right to change my mind, but is to maybe go at the next meeting and have you gentlemen vote it up or down on its merits, send it to Boston, and have them make a decision one way or the other with respect to the license. I know that's a risky situation. We do have our beer and wine in hand, but I just don't want to be sitting here. I mean, I certainly would agree to another continuance after that if the board thinks it wise, and I would leave it to your discretion. It's just I'm a little dangerous thinking out loud, but if the past few months is any sign of what's to happen, then I think we'd be here in May and June talking about the same issue with no response from Boston.
The board agreed to continue the discussion to the Licensing Authority's February meeting in hopes there would be more information from the state at that time. The board also heard from attorney Michael Princey, representing the owners of Indian Pavilion, regarding the rejection of their license renewal last year.
We humbly appear before you today, recognizing that the failure to pay solely rests with us. The license renewal was timely filed. The fee was due, I believe, by the 14th of December. You had a hearing on the 17th of December. Notwithstanding efforts by Mr. Scally, who was very courteous and gracious to our client, my client, and also to Christine, who attempted to reach out to them. They did not respond. They did not pay on time. They are longtime license holders in the town of Barnstable. They've never had any issue with your commission in terms of any violations that I'm aware of. I think there was a certain embarrassment that existed in terms of finances in the middle of the month, and instead of responding by communicating with Mr. Scally and communicating with Christine, there was the hope that they would have the funds, and they in fact did have the funds by the end of the month, tried to pay, not recognizing that you had voted. I respectfully request that you reconsider your decision, recognizing after conversations with Christine the other day that the ABCC, by the way, we did cease business as of the 31st upon receiving notice. They have not been operating. They have not been open. I would ask respectfully that you reconsider your decision from the 17th.
Barnstable resident Gary Blazes took to the podium to speak in support of the couple and their restaurant.
I don't know a finer, more moral couple than Mr. and Mrs. Thin. This is not a big restaurant. It's my mom and pop. Tony, as He's known to his friends. Is the cook there? His wife is the manager, waitress, hostess. Anybody that goes into that restaurant feels like it's family. He's been there for 23 years, never had a complaint from anybody. When I was on the town council as president, I had the opportunity to speak at the 4Cs cultural diversity program, and wouldn't you know that the Thins had volunteered food, to Indian food, so that the people that were visiting there could share.
The board supported the reversal and agreed to reinstate the license.
There's nothing further. I would entertain a motion to rescind the decision not to renewal on December 17th and to renew the license plus anything we could do to get them up and going as far as a common victual is. So, Mr. Berman, if you could put that into some type of language.
I would move that the reconsideration of the removal of the decision to disapprove the renewal application could be rescinded, and I would hope that we could submit to the ABCC a renewal application, tardy, but definitely a.
We'll be submitting an amended renewal approval.
Good. But in the meantime, I would move that the common victual license be issued so that they can operate starting tomorrow, maybe.
The licensing authority also made a decision this morning regarding Embargo Restaurant on Main Street. A remand show cause hearing was held for a remand of the appeal of license suspension by the ABCC. We bring you the board's decision.
And as a result of the circumstances, I think a warning would be in order.
I agree with that, Mr. Chairman.
So we'll give them a warning on those two, and then you don't, that does away with the penalty anyway. So I'd attain, what I like is two separate motions, one on the violation.
If you want, Gene, I'll make a motion that the embargoes violated the law by not paying the licensing fee appropriately on time. That's motion number one. And motion number two is that in respect to that, they then failed to, or they did operate 2 days without the license there, stating also that they made the offer, but they weren't able to pay it over the weekend, but that they did operate two days without the license.
So they're going to be found guilty of the two separate violations,
That's
right?
my motion, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, do I have a second?
I have a second.
Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Now, as far as any punitive action, I would entertain a motion for a warning on both
Warning.
violations.
A warning and to be placed on file.
Just a warning.
That's the warning.
Right.
I would move. So move.
Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
A show cause hearing for Cape Cod Precious Gems and Coins was also on tap for today. The licensing authority may opt to revoke the license as manager Carl Marchetti allegedly purchased items that appeared on a list of stolen property and also failed to report items purchased for sale to the Barnstable Police Department, as all secondhand or junk dealers in town are required to do. The manager is approaching a court date on January 15th. The board voted to continue the hearing until March the 4th. You can view the entire licensing authority hearing online at town.barnstable.ma.us. Just click through to videos on demand from the homepage. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.